friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Celeste and this is From Far Out. Today is the first day of spring and I'm so excited. Spring is my season. I'm a May baby, a Gemini, so I love spring. I am here for the florals, I'm here for the growth, I'm here for the new energy. So today I'm going to talk about some of the crystals, some of the practices, some of the things that I'm doing today and throughout the season. I also have a new deck of cards that just came in the mail today that I want to play with and pull from and learn about, and I'm so excited. So let's jump right in. I have my smudge going. We are feeling fresh. Now, the first thing that I have to tell you to do, and I'm sure every spiritualist, every person who thinks and talks and knows about energy has told you this, but on the first day of spring, clean your house. Whether it's like physically cleaning, sweeping, finishing your dishes, just making sure your house is clean, but also smoke clearing is beautiful and perfect. Open your windows, open your doors, smoke cleanse. Sound cleanse is a personal favorite of mine. You know, I am into ASMR, I'm into sound healing, so that can look a number of different ways. You can bust out your drum, you can sing your songs while walking through your house, you can bring out your rattle. This is my turtle rattle, I love her so much. You can bring out your rattle, you can clap your hands and yell through your house. Just do something that's going to have that ignition of sound into that other dimension, into that other sense. Sorry, I have babies going off on the baby monitor. We're good. So have that other dimension of sound, sort of clearing the space, like reigniting that newness, sort of transforming that dust and sending that away out of your space, getting ready for the new beautiful things that are coming into the space. My favorite medicine as of late, but also specifically for springtime, is sweetgrass, bringing in such warmth and comforting energies, ready to grow from all the things that we've been learning and keeping with us, having our guides beside us, moving forward into our intentions and into our manifestations. Now, let's talk about the best part. Let's talk about crystals. So I have so many. I was taking my little bag and bringing it into my filming room. And I was like, let's bring you, let's bring you, let's bring you. So I don't know if I'm going to talk about all of them, but one that is really calling out to me in this moment is mimetite. So mimetite is a really great crystal for, it's hard to find, it's a fine mineral. So I only have this small bit of it, but it's a really great crystal for new adventures. When you're starting off on something new, you don't really know if it's for you. You don't really know how much energy to put forward to do that thing. Mimetite is going to push you and be like, yeah, you got this. It's fucking weird, it's fucking scary, but this is something new, and new is exciting because the world around us is going to change no matter what. Every season is going to change. Change is going to come into our life. Good change, bad change, you know how you can think about good and bad things, but things are always going to happen. So be prepared, be open, be ready to take it on, head start. If life is dragging you, kicking and screaming, life is going to suck for you, and that's just period. But if you are ready to be adventurous and try new things, life is going to be so beautiful. So take that into the spring. Be ready for all kinds of things that you haven't manifested, things that you've never thought about before. Try something new and be open to it. Being fearful and being doubtful, there's a space for fear and doubt in all things. There's always space for that juxtaposition of energy. But if you are sort of clouding yourself in fear and holding yourself in a space, you'll never be able to break out of that. So be ready to break out of that. And speaking of, let's talk a little bit about Larimar. Larimar, while being a peaceful and calming oceanic energy, it's also very explosive. And when I work with a new piece of Larimar, I very often have a mental breakdown or just some kind of emotional outburst. And then I come to this conclusion of, wow, that was really necessary. I really had to break out of this pattern. I had to break out of this energy, this feeling, to come to a place of peacefulness, of a new start, the end of a cycle. I feel like I'm going to repeat myself a lot because spring energy is abundant new beginnings. But these are just some friends that, I kind of bring with me through those challenges. Let's talk about peridot. This is peridot growing on a lava stone. Love that. Isn't that fucking cool? So peridot itself is a very abundant growth energy stone, but lava stone is a fire, sort of like a death stone almost. So it has a very similar energy when in conjunction as Larimar, where you have that like volcanic emotional outburst of energy, but then you have this beautiful peridot reminding you that there's still room to grow. You know, after all of this decay and removal and release, there's still the capacity for earth to teach us new things, life to bring us new blessings. So love peridot for that. My husband's birthstone is peridot and mine is emerald, so we're a little green family. Speaking of green, let's talk about green apophyllite. This is a really cool ginormous square of green apophyllite, and I like to use green apophyllite in conjunction with carved animals. So this little grandma spider, I keep these guys together. I think the spider is a great way to put it, just like holding space for those like creepy crawlies, like the tiny little shifts that happen in the forest that sort of like make the big picture, like focusing on the small stuff, the little things that we kind of forget about. And green apophyllite being that heart stone, that heart energy, it's very joyous, but in a little bit of a trickster sort of way. And I've talked about this before on my channel because I love green apophyllite, but it's kind of like, are you ready? Are you sure you're ready? And it will kind of be like, just kidding. Just kidding. But all of those things put together bring out these seeds that we're planting, and they're kind of like asking us to focus, asking us to like come in and really see. Like, we can have all of these dreams and these big ideas, but that energy of big ideas sort of lives in the summertime when the sun is at its like brightest and we are really fulfilling that whole thing. But green apophyllite reminds us to like look at the seeds, look at the small stuff, look at the little pieces. Oh my gosh, she does not want to sit there. Look at the little pieces of energy, the things that we're planting. Are we sure? Are you sure that this is the one that you want to plant? What about this one? What about this one? What about this one? There's so many things. So I love that. If you are a person who can kind of get distracted by an energy like that, that will kind of like keep you in a confusing space, I wouldn't recommend green apophyllite. I would recommend green fluorite to sort of help you focus in on different energies. But if you're the kind of person who is already constantly jumping around, or maybe the kind of person who like hyper focuses and like really puts all of their energy into one thing, and like when it gets fucked up you kind of just like break down, try green apophyllite. There will always be more opportunities for growth with green apophyllite. And whatever little guys, whatever little friends you have, whatever crystals that you have that are carved, that can hold space for an energy of a creature, love that. I have so many of these in different things, but spider energy is my spring sunshine energy. A little more green calcite, of course, the mother of joy, our center of joy and happiness. You know, we've done all of this like reflecting, this heaviness, this resting phase in the wintertime. We did all of that. We looked internally and analyzed all of the things that we need to release. And now we are exclusively filled with joy. We just have the ability and the capacity to grow. We have, you know, what is it called? Seed, I want to say flower, seed, sun, and water. Those three things are what like we bring into the world, and that's why we balance with 3 and all those things. If you resonate with the number 3, I genuinely resonate with 3. So yeah, green calcite, I get distracted and I talk about way too many things. Green calcite is my balance of 3, the ability to have our seed, have our sunlight, have our water, and have all of those things in balance, in the ability to grow from our passion, from our joy, from our happiness. I have a cat who's just like really excited to be here, like really excited to say something to you guys. Okay, let's move into some egg energy, obviously, and I'm not talking about just Easter, but I mean pagan Easter. The idea of the egg being the seed, the fertility, the ability to growth, seed, sunlight, water. I keep trying to say flower. I guess flower is like the fruitfulness, but flower, I wanted to talk about strawberry quartz, but strawberry season is in June. So I guess now is the time where we're planting our seeds of energy, having these, this like growth and development, this idea, what am I putting into fruition, and then seeing the strawberries, seeing the fruiting of our work, that comes a little bit later. So right now this is an ocean jasper and this is a shivalingam. Both of these work really great for planting and sitting with an idea, if you are feeling kind of like, oh my God, there's 100,000 things that I want to do this year. I set all these goals in January and everything sort of seems out of place. Turn to your Shiva Lingam. Turn to that energy of a groundedness, a fertility, a readiness, and knowing that what is for you will always be for you. You don't have to figure it out. You don't have to have a list. You don't have to know exactly all the time. A path will be set out for you, and all you have to do is be ready to grow, be open and ready to grow. If you're in a place of anxiousness and spring kind of makes you feel really worried, maybe you deal with a little bit of seasonal depression, and when things sort of like start buzzing and happening again, you're like, oh my God, am I ready for this? Am I ready for this? Yes, you are. Ocean Jasper reminds us to stay calm in all things, that the ocean will guide us. As overwhelming as the waves are, they are pertinent to our growth and our development. Some other things I have here. Oh my God, I have so many fucking things. Okay, let's talk about Black Moonstone. Black Moonstone, again, is that like motherly fertility energy, but this is sort of a like a deeper vibe. If you are sort of in a very heady space and you are like ready for spring and you have all these plans and you know exactly what you're doing, you're going on vacation, you have your garden set up, you have all these maps, but you still kind of feel like maybe there's something missing. Maybe I'm lacking a little bit of depth. Black Moonstone will help you go a little deeper. Sorry, my nose is stuffy. It will help you go a little bit deeper, help you sort of dig into the reason that you want to do all of these things. Is the reason that you want to do all of these things because you are distracting yourself from the real work, from the real things that you're trying to accomplish? Or are you doing all of these things because you feel that one of them won't be adequate? You have to do everything, and it's coming from a place of lack of self-worth, lack of, self-importance, that kind of thing. Sit with Black Moonstone for a little bit. Ask the mother, ask a divine feminine. Oh, she is really here to talk to y'all. Ask your cat, I guess. Ask what's going on. Listen and be ready to hear the words of encouragement. Black Moonstone, beautiful springtime stone. Pulling yourself out of that darkness, out of, seasonal depression. Black Moonstone is a great one for that. I'm kind of just spewing things. These are not necessarily what I'm using these things for, but the intention of my channel, obviously, is to bring words and inspiration to you guys. So if any of these resonate with you, let me know in the comments below. I have a small handful left, and then we'll pull some cardies. I want to talk about this. This is a stone that I actually used recently in a reading. I was having a bit of an emotional moment, and I was in the headspace of thinking like, oh my God, spring is so exciting. I can't wait for all these things. But I was like, wait, I have some stuff that I still need to release, some stuff that's like not meant to be carried with me. So I used this in a grid. I had 4 crystals around and then 1 in the middle because 5 is my healing number. And I had this guy in the middle, and he kind of represented like my fire, the things that are ready to be burned away, that are ready to be sent as energy, to be transformed, the things that I no longer have to carry. And he really held that space. This is a shamanic quartz. And it's just like my fire energy stone. I love him so much. So that's that. Maybe do that if you're feeling a little stuck in your energy. Call to your fire energy stone and see what he's wanting to burn away from you. It's scary, it really is. A softer energy to sort of release is sulfur quartz, of course. Literally sucking up all of the toxins in the air and releasing them to be transformed into something beneficial. Sulfur quartz is a great one to bring around your home, to like put in your smoke bowl, or just like have in your hand to have that energy clearing throughout the space. Okay, we talked about you. I think the last 2, 3 that I have here. So this is Golden Healer, and like I was saying, this may come later in the summertime, but it also could be a very illuminating stone. If you are a seed that's like real deep down dark in the soil, if you're like really feeling heavy and you need a little bit of a boost, Golden Healer is going to be a great one to sort of bring back that hope, bring back excitement, bring back, the rays of sun that we've been missing all winter long. Bring back a little bit of warmth. And then the last 2 that I have, this is Rose Quartz. Rose Quartz honestly is great for any season, just very comforting. Unconditional is my favorite word to use with Rose Quartz, because I feel like sometimes we get stuck in our goals and get stuck in like, I need to do this to be better. I need to do that. Sorry. I need to like achieve this and achieve that and have this written down and do this and do that. But sitting with Rose Quartz remind us that like currently, right now, before all of those things, it is an unconditional love that's been granted to us, an unconditional grace, an understanding, a patience from Creator, Sungwai, Disu, universe, whoever you believe in. They love you anyways. They created you to do this, to go on this journey, not just to reach your destination, but to be the journey. So unconditional is a great stone. And this one I kind of pulled, I wasn't totally sure, but this guy is Alaskan garnet. You can see the piece of garnet there, and this is just the mother rock. There's some more garnet throughout here. But this stone, I'm not totally sure why, but it kind of reminds me of the head of a snake. Like this is his mouth and the eye. So this is kind of my snake stone, really transformative. Garnet is a very like powerful root stone. So kind of igniting all that lives below and like preparing that for transformation with that snake energy. Yeah, I don't know why I grabbed for this, but it was the first one I grabbed. I was like, yeah, for sure. Somebody needs to hear that. Connect with your snake energy. Don't be afraid of the transformation. Not only is our snake energies known as transformative because obviously the renewal of skin, their whole body, but also cycles, the way that they move their body, they're going straight, but their entire body moves in this like rhythmic cycle. So invite the snake into your home to share his rhythm and his remembrance of how the world moves and works and how we're never stuck in an energy. There's always a way out, and that way isn't necessarily forward, but cyclical. So know that and understand that. And now I think we're ready to bust into these cards. I am so excited about these. So I bought these from Amazon. They were on pre-order for a little while, I believe. But this is the Sacred Medicine by Asha Frost. Asha is, let's see. The art is by Steph Littlebird. Asha is, I think she's from Now Wash. I can't see it on the box anywhere here, but yeah, Chippewas of Now Wash's Medicine Keeper, Visionary, Wise One. You are invited to rise into your remembering. This deck is so beautiful. I love decks by Indigenous artists because I feel that sometimes, even myself as an Indigenous person, I often felt disconnected from spirituality in this way with like crystals and oracle cards and chakras and all of that kind of conversation, because our traditions are traditions. They're very old. And so it felt kind of like, oh my God, am I allowed to bring this like new age, new ideas? And they're not new, they're just from the Western world. Am I allowed to mix that Western knowing into our old ways? And yes, dude, of course. But it took me a long time to really feel comfortable doing that. So I'm so excited. Like, look at the beautiful art on these: sweetgrass braid, receptivity, medicine rights, accomplishment, medicine bag gather. So I am going to, okay. So we're going to put this over our smudge bowl here, and we're going to sort of clear this out. Whoa, whoa, whoa. We already have some popping out. Oh, we have 3. Oh. Okay, so these are perfect. So we have the Wind of Change. Look at that artwork. That like, oh my God, so beautiful. And then Strawberry Love. Literally, we're just talking about strawberries. I'll get into that in a minute. But we also have Rainbow Activation, our authenticity. Change, love, and authenticity. If this is not spring, I literally don't know what is. Allowing the winds to change is bringing that warm wind from the south, that love, that kindness, sort of like that breath of life energy, and having that come from our space of love, having that come from our heartberry, our intention, our passion, the things that bring us joy with these beautiful greens, and then this fruitness, the fruitfulness of love. And knowing that it is only in authenticity that we will ever be able to grow and change. We can pretend and we can act like we're going to turn into this person and we can live this fantasy version of ourselves, but that's not going to last very long if it's not authentic. If it doesn't come from our heart space, if it doesn't come from a rooted place in love and Mother Earth's intention, it's just not going to last. The change is going to keep coming, and you're going to keep fighting and keep fighting and keep changing and keep going through these transformations. And you're like, what is going to stick? What is going to stay? Find your authenticity. Follow your love. Follow your true, actual passion, not the passion that people have told you is going to, the things that people tell you that are going to be fruitful, the things that people tell you are going to bring you money and popularity and fame and whatever it is that you're like lusting after. Finding true authenticity that comes from true love is the only way that we are going to be fruitful in the future. Bang! What is spring energy reading? Ugh, I am resonating so hard with these cards. When I went on vacation and I brought those moon cards, and those everyday wish cards, I was really wanting to have either like my medicine animal cards or sacred seasons. That my other deck that was done by an Indigenous artist that includes, you know, ceremonies and things that we do in our Indigenous practice. And when I say Indigenous, I mean North American Indigenous. I understand that Indigenous people are all over the world. But like specifically my nation is Ganikaha. I don't recognize borders, Canadian American, so I just say North American, even though it's like Turtle Island Indigenous is what I mean. Okay, that was a really beautiful reading. One last thing, Star Nation's ancestors. Oh, look at that beautiful, beautiful artwork. This idea of the reflection in the water, having things be as above, so below, reflecting the wisdom and the message, the communication, the channeling that comes from spirit. This is how you are going to be guided. You are not going to be guided by society, your family, your friends, the people on the internet telling you what to do. You will exclusively be guided by divinity if you are open to it. And that is the best source of information because it is the most sustainable source of information. So look to your star nations, connect to your ancestors, and ask, what direction am I going this spring? What's my intention this spring? Am I ready to grow? What am I looking at? Who is guiding me? Ask all these questions. Have your own spring equinox ceremony, and I will see you in the next one. Peace and love from far out.